Hey everyone, William Moore, and you're watching Beyond the Ties That Bind. I hope that everybody's having a great day. I want to talk to you today about coronavirus. There's a lot of information out there. Most of the information is designed to create panic, and right now, what people need to do is stay calm. Um, you know, uh, Franklin Eleanor Roosevelt stated that, uh, and I'm sure this quote is just attributed to him. I don't think he was smart enough to actually come up with this quote. Um, but anyway, FDR stated that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And a lot of times that's true. And in this case, what we have to fear is the fear of others. Um, People are panicking, and the panic has a trickle down effect. And what we need to do is promote calm. We have a lot of fiction out there, a lot of lies concerning the coronavirus. 90% of the headlines, and even on Zero Hedge, which really pisses me off, these headlines are designed to cause panic. And we see this panic playing out in the economic markets. We see this panic playing out in grocery stores and Costco and Sam's Clubs all across the nation. I was watching a hockey game the other night, and in the chat section of the hockey game, they weren't talking about the hockey game anymore. They were talking about coronavirus and then starting to panic about it. Anyway, we have a lot of fear mongering going on. We have a lot of false information out there. So, what I've been doing lately is researching, and I've come across a lot of articles by John Rappaport. This man is one of the top investigative journalists of our time. He's been an investigative journalist for the last 30 years. He's been nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. He is a man who separates fact from fiction. He looks at the hard data and presents the hard data and uses many times the information being put out by the CDC, by the World Health Organization, by the different nations themselves against those nations, because they're always going to expose themselves in some way or another with some of the information that they put out there. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff going on out there, a lot of information about the coronavirus, which is false. Um, what I'm going to be reading from tonight is one of John's articles from February 24th, 2020, and it is titled China Coronavirus Hype Straight Out of the CDC Flu Playbook, the CDC being the Center for Disease Control. So, John writes, in today's episode of Numbskulls and Deceivers in Medical Science, I asked the question, are Chinese researchers copying an old CDC scam, or have they independently come up with their own lies which happen to mirror CDC hype? So, in John's series, The China Epidemic, about the coronavirus, he points out that pneumonia, the key indicator of the coronavirus, can be caused by many other factors: fungi, toxic pollution, um, the flu. So, Chinese authorities no longer require direct testing for the coronavirus. Instead, CT scans of the chest are employed. And if these CT scans show signs of pneumonia, the coronavirus epidemic label is absurdly applied to the patient. So they're not even doing viral tests to check for the virus. They see pneumonia and they then diagnose it as the coronavirus immediately. So, and also Johns pointed out historically, pneumonia has been a major disease in China. Long before the emergence of the new human coronavirus, people in China have been dying of pneumonia at the rate of about 300,000 per year. Now, sometimes that's as high as 1 million per year in China. And, China does not have the best air quality in the world. Actually, they have the worst air quality in the world. Um, so, anyway, these people passing away from the disease in 2020, they can falsely be called deadly epidemic cases. You know, that's really convenient, and it adds to the fear mongering. So it turns out that the Centers for Disease Control in the U.S. has been running its own pneumonia scam for a long time. Some years ago, when John was writing about the flu, he received emails from Peter Doshi and Martin Maloney. They fed him data from the CDC's own charts detailing flu deaths in the U.S., and they pointed out the lies. Doshi went on to write an analysis for the journal BMJ Online, December 2005, and here's a key quote from his report. According to CDC statistics, influenza and pneumonia took 62,034 lives in 2001, 61,777 which were attributable to pneumonia, and 257 to flu, and in only 18 cases was the flu virus positively identified. So only 18 people, it can only be said that only 18 people died from the flu that year, not 62,000. So you might want to chew on that for a minute. So you see, the CDC has created one overall category that it combines both flu and pneumonia deaths. They call this category flu. Why do they do this? Why do they deceptively assert the pneumonia deaths are complications stemming from the flu? Because they want to sell doctors and public on dangers of the flu. So they want to sell these doctors who push drugs and the public on dangers of the flu, and there's a reason behind that. So anyway, pneumonia has a number of non-flu causes, but even worse, in all of the 2001 flu and pneumonia deaths, only 18 revealed the presence of an influenza virus. This same number was almost repeated in 2016 or 2018. So therefore, the CDC couldn't truthfully say that more than 18 people died of influenza in 2001. Not 36,000 deaths, the old CDC PR statistic, 18 deaths. So Doshi continued his assessment of the published CDC flu death statistics. Between 1979 and 2001, CDC data show an average of 1,348 flu deaths per year. That's a range from 257 to 3,006. These figures refer to flu separated out from pneumonia. This low death toll would drop much lower if you added the need to confirm the presence of a flu virus in those cases. So clearly the CDC combines flu and pneumonia in one category and calls it flu in order to lie about the number of flu deaths in the United States, and then push the flu vaccine. That's what it's all about. You lump all these together under the headline of the flu, and then you can push your stupid vaccine that makes money off of an unsuspecting population, a population that creates a reality by what they hear on mainstream media. So we have two fake hustles years apart in the US and China, both based on the deceptive use of pneumonia. So liars tend to tell the same kinds of lies over and over. Medical liars often import diseases which have nothing to do with their claims in order to build up case numbers and pump threats and fears. Then they sell a toxic drug and vaccine as a solution. So here we are being fed a lie. We create a reality around the lie, and there's going to be legislation. There's going to be a push to vaccinate everybody in the United States with some dangerous type of drug. Go back to, I believe it was 1976 when they did this. So they pushed a vaccine upon people, and people were winding up with Guillain-Barré syndrome over this. So, you know, they're going to rush this out. They're going to push it on people. They're going to mandate the people who are vaccinated. And it's all due to fake numbers and a created reality around a lie. So, and they're going to sell people these toxic drugs, and those people who refuse to take these toxic drugs are going to be labeled criminal. So, you know, the CDC, They are basically a pharmaceutical company. Uh, the World Health Organization, they're lying about the coronavirus numbers. You can't trust anything that's being spouted or published coming from China. You cannot believe the United States government. And, it's best right now that people just remain calm, you know, supplement, do what you can to remain healthy, just like you would in a normal flu season. Wash your hands. Take products such as silver, oil of oregano, a lot of cayenne. These are antivirals, strong natural antivirals. Actually, they have no match. Nothing in a laboratory can match these antivirals, these natural antivirals. So anyway, we need to stay calm. And also something that's going on too, the CDC also admitted that the test kits don't work. So you cannot even say that a person has coronavirus for sure, because the CDC has claimed that the tests do not work. So people are being diagnosed with this because, CT scans are being done on people, pneumonia is showing up, and they're automatically being diagnosed with this coronavirus. So anyway, it's, people need to stay calm, need to live in a true reality, not a fabricated reality that's coming from the mainstream media. So anyway, wanted to pass that along, be passing along a lot more information from John Rappaport in the following days and the weeks ahead. And anyway, hope that everyone's found this useful, and definitely, go about your daily routine as far as this virus is concerned. Do the same thing you would to keep from catching the flu. Wash your hands, take vitamins, high concentrations of vitamin C, but do not panic. At the same time, because of what's going on with the economy, it would be a good idea to have a little bit of cash on hand, maybe stock up on a few extra items at the grocery store when you do your shopping. But do not panic. So, anyway, I hope that everyone has a great evening. This is William Moore for Beyond the Ties that Bind. Peace.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.